Hello and welcome back to Sly 2, Band of Thieves. In a mission to take down a big airship blimp kind of thing? Who would ever be surprised that there are explosives involved?
This engine room is locked down tight. Since we can't get in, I figure we'll have to destroy it from the outside.
I hope you're carrying some heavy explosives, Bentley, because that engine isn't small.
It just so happens that there's a ready supply of explosives already available on the blimp. Walk one of these TNT barrels up to that engine room to destroy it.
Sounds easy enough. What's the catch?
The initial payload in that TNT barrel won't be powerful enough to do the job. If you pick up 3 magnetic chargers, you should achieve the necessary blast force to destroy the engine. It's simple, really. Just get close to the chargers, and they'll automatically attach to your barrel.
All right, let's blow stuff up.
That's a spirit. I'm perfectly for the fact that there's explosives on the ship. That makes perfect sense, but of all places to put them, I don't really get it. But you want to remember one thing about these explosives. First off, going the right way. Second off, you are in a barrel. You can use this to hide from guards. If you ever get stuck in a tricky situation where there isn't really a good way to pass by a guard, you might want to think about just stopping and letting them pass by you. It's something that I easily forget that happens, but this is a barrel. You need to remember that just because there's TNT in it doesn't mean that it's not a barrel. I don't know. But this is kind of a slow mission, but I do like the concept of it. Because we have to navigate a lot of this area, and we don't have the usual advantages that Sly does. In his, athleticness and things. And as such, it becomes kind of an interesting challenge, seeing if you know the layout well enough to know how to get to areas without being able to jump too much. You can see up there is probably going to be one of the trickier ones, because getting up to the top floor is not always an easy thing to do. All these charges we're collecting actually work as checkpoints, so should you die now, you can actually continue from the last thing that you collected. So that's nice. Surprisingly forgiving. From here, I believe it's just as well just fall down here, yeah. And maybe be careful not to get seen by people. Oh, well, staying hidden, actually. I'm not entirely... Oh, don't push me into the... Excuse me? You do stay hidden in the barrel, right? I'm fairly certain I've used that to my advantage in the past, and for some reason you don't start in the barrel even, but... There you could at least see the checkpoint in action, but... Maybe it's just because he touched me. He touched me, so he was like, "Whoa, this barrel feels weird." I don't know what that voice was supposed to be, but it sure was. Also, I don't know why you would ever do this, but don't jump out of the barrel, because that will indeed activate it and kind of fuck shit up. Well, since you're gonna be an asshole apparently, I guess I'll just try to avoid you then. Wait for you to just go like that. I mean, if I'm just patient, I can just wait for him to go back to where he just came from. There we go. Now, there isn't really a particularly good way to go, so I guess we'll try the same thing again, because, see, he would have seen me by this point if you weren't hidden in the barrel, so it must have been just that the guard touched me, and I wasn't really aware that was gonna reveal me. Wow. So, I guess with that in mind, stick to the edges if at all possible. Okay, let's get out of here. I can just go around, except he might actually be going around as well, but that's fine, because going on the top of these stairs, we can do this. You'll notice the spring is slightly differently working when you're in the barrel. It doesn't just shoot you up, it gently elevates you. Okay, I was worried that was gonna make me get seen, but I kind of just wanted to show it for some reason. There we go. Just go up. Whoa, that was that was a nice voice crack. There's something really interesting about the music being so quiet. I'm not sure there even is any music at all right now, but that's it's kind of interesting going through this like that. It makes it, in some ways, it makes it a little bit more intense, because the music is very sort of, ooh, if you know, like, it's not. I don't mean it's like scary or haunted. I don't know what that sound was supposed to represent. In regards to that. But no! You were turning around! Why would you... He was just going in a circle, and that fooled me. So I was saying about the music, though. I meant it's just sort of like very Whoa, watch out! This place is dangerous. I don't know what it is with me with the, you know, spooky vibrato or whatever. I don't know why I said that with such a pretentious accent. It's just because, I don't know, words like that are difficult. But anyway, our next objective, actually, I'm going the completely fucky way. Because I believe, if my memory serves me right, which it doesn't always do, you want to get on the... Don't do this to me. Thank you. Just walk past it. There we go. You want to go on the top here, because this is the easiest way easily to get to the... Well, easy, apparently. To get to the top floors. In fact, when you're in the barrel, I think this might be the only way. And as you remember, we need to get all the way that way. To my knowledge, there really aren't any other paths that you can take when you're in the barrel. Because obviously you can't jump out. You don't exactly have all your thief reflexes and things. But you do have the funny noises, and that's what matters. Okay, going over here, collecting our final thingy.
With the TNT barrel all charged up, it's time to deliver the payload to that engine.
Sure is. Or I could just deliver the payload to this guy, that would be cool too. What is that on his knees? Whoa. Oh! I never caught on to that. Wow, I am not very perceptive, am I? There's a reason I get made fun of for my perception stat. This was a bad idea, wasn't it? Oh boy. Oh boy! Yes! Haha! Perfect! Alright. I'm not sure this was the best way to go, though. In fact, I'm pretty certain this was the entirely wrong way to go. So that victory just completely got hollowed now, and I cannot make it back up on this, can I? But, sure, that works. Except I need to make my way up again, which means I need to go quite a detour. Alright, you know what? I'll be right back. Actually, for that matter, I could just get caught. That'll take me back to the checkpoint. Because at this point, that's a whole lot faster than actually going all the way back. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. Instead of going the way I went, you do want to go on one of the spinny guys. Just not the same spinny guy that I did, because they didn't really spin my way, I guess. I don't know how to do anything out of that. But let's ignore that, because it's fortunately spinning just the way that we need it. Whoop. For a second I was worried I couldn't get up. Okay. I was falling, and that is a form of movement. Just because it's not intentional doesn't mean it's not a movement. And I figured that was gonna get me caught, but whatever. Here we go. Time to blow shit up.
That should be the last time anyone puts that engine to use.
Surprisingly, with no slow motion. Next up, we have the job that I accidentally entered once before.
To disable that engine room, you and I are going to have to work together.
Happy to have you along, Bentley. What do you need me to do?
Pickpocket the guard's keys to the engine room. Once you've got the door open, I'll take over.
Okay, you should take your position. It's not gonna take me long to lighten these guys of their keys.
Indeed, we're once again going to be using the collective power of two of our members to do something they could not possibly do alone. I think you see a theme we're going for with the missions here. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like the gang has never cooperated before. Obviously, I feel like that's kind of a theme throughout the whole game, where the gang is very essential, that it's the entire group of three and that nobody could really do all of this alone. But I mean, rather than that disproving my point, I feel like that's a perfect way to emphasize that theme by having everything that we've done up to this point and everything the gang's been going through to lead up to something like this. I've praised the story several times before, but I never really brought up the idea of themes in this, and that's definitely not something the writers have been ignoring. Sly, you can reach into that. You've done. Oh boy, hey! Get out of my way. I mean, he's reached into things like that before. Actually, that just works in my favor. No! Okay. Are you kidding me? Dude! Fucking team kill or whatever that's called? Well, at least this demonstrates that all the keys work as checkpoints. well, kind of yes, kind of no. I didn't start it with the key, but I guess that's just because the game wasn't really able to do that because the guard moves. But at least you have the key, and that's nice. So, the easiest thing to do is probably just to use the music box, because why would you ever do anything else? The music box is honestly almost kinda OP. I like it a lot. Perfect! If you can even... No, it's the wrong guy. Can I really not? Can I really not? Okay, thank you. Was worried for a second. Okay. As you saw before though, there's no problem killing the guards once you actually have their keys, because there's no reason to keep them around after that. Next up, we have one guy on the top there, one over there. Where's the last one? I guess it's right there on top of me. Okay. So we need to get to the top levels first and foremost. Or at least almost the top, because one of the guys is just on the spinning things here. There we go, very nice. Whoop, wee. These things right here, you can actually climb under, yeah, sure. Crawl under to hide yourself if you ever need it. Same goes for these things, but they're personally just hiding spots that I never see the use of. I don't know, if you're really the kind of guy who doesn't want to kill enemies and would rather just stealth around, then I guess that's for you, but I'm not, you know, as you've probably been able to see for some time, I'm not really the patient kind of guy for that. Alright, over here by the safe house, we can get our penultimate key. Last guy is just standing right around over here. Oh, but he's another one of these ones. Well, that doesn't matter. Music box! What? That pushed him to the side for a second. Alright, you just do that. Sly. There we go, thank you. I don't know what he was reaching for.
Okay, Sly, I'm waiting by the engine room door.
Okay, Bentley, you're on.
Hey, Bentley, I'm looking at these, blueprints, and I think you've got to shoot out all the bulbs with your dart gun to get up to the second level. Here's the hard part. Once you shoot a bulb, you'll need to then take out the bulb the electricity is going to. If you miss and break the wrong bulb, there'll be a big power surge and kablam!
Yes, what Murray says is true. You need to hit the light bulb corresponding to the first one that you hit. Doesn't matter in which order you do the two, though. You just sort of do the two that coincide with one another, and then it's fine. Except, I actually think it's coincide with each other. One another is when it's more than two, if I'm not mistaken. Not that that matters much, though. Just want to be a bit careful and patient about this. If you hit the wrong one, you're gonna have to redo everything. To my knowledge, there are no checkpoints in this area. So just be careful. If you just do that, it's not a big deal at all. And don't start shooting too much before hearing what Murray has to say. It's usually important, you know. Also, I guess it could be a good idea to save the inner ones for last, because they don't have any guys, because then they won't have any light bulbs, like, going in the way of them and then risking... Ah, god dang it. I was hoping to get, like, I like the first shot, because it felt like a real snipe. And that might just be me, because I'm awful, terrible with shooting and aiming things, but I don't know. The first one felt good. The other ones, they just can't really live up to it, can they?
Okay, pal. You're all set to bounce up to the next level.
Alright, with all that done, the battery charge is, like, lowered or something, I guess?
If I'm reading this right, it looks like you need to bomb those power nodes to get into the control room. Once that door is open, you'll be able to shut this engine down for good.
So this is simple stuff, even simpler than before, I dare say. Just leave the bombs at all the places, try not to die. It's pretty simple stuff. It's kind of what Bentley lives to do. Not dying. Yeah, I guess everyone would live to not die.
Take it all the way, buddy. Flip the override switch and this engine is toast.
Because, you know, if you don't, then you just die, and it's, you know, as simple as that. Anyway, surprisingly, no hacking involved?
That's one less engine for that creepy clocklet thing to draw power from.
One less engine? Well, one engine fewer. Just one to go. Let's get right on that. Have you by the way noticed a very small little detail? When you have the hover pack equipped, he actually has it on his back, but if you should de-equip it, he does take it off. It's a small detail, but I do appreciate it.
That's one of the engines that needs to be disabled. I won't lie to you, Murray. This is going to be a tough job that requires both our skills.
My skills? Okay, Bentley, if you say so.
First, I'll need to hack the stations controlling access to the engine room. Then, Murray, you'll need to head inside and use your muscle to finish the job.
The Murray will be ready to go.
You didn't think there was going to be no hacking, did you? Of course not! We just have we just don't have too much of it. Thankfully, because I gotta admit, the hacking's not the most interesting, but at least it's nice when it's varied. So, coming up, we have a variation! Your shots now ricochet off the wall, if I believe that's the right word. I don't know. I can say wrong things because I have the excuse of not being English, right? That's how the world works, I guess. Surprisingly though, you'd think that this makes things a lot more interesting. Kinda doesn't. Your enemy's shots don't ricochet, yours are the only ones, and frankly, just kinda makes you OP, because there's no way in hell the enemies are ever going to hit you. And as you can see by the shot that was above us right now, they bounce for a long time. You don't even need to be careful about aiming, you just sort of shoot on and then you're going to get it eventually somehow. Like, it might take 5 minutes or something for the bullet to bounce to the enemy, but it'll get there eventually, and that's what really matters. I actually got hit in this mission. That's not something you see a whole lot. See, there we go. Like, in that pattern, these bullets took forever to actually get to the enemy, but they did eventually, and then that's all that mattered. That's one computer down. Next up is one all the way over there. I don't believe... Yes, you do have to do them in the specific order. And is this on the top floor? Kinda looks like it. Let's just go there just in case, because it's easier to jump down from the top than to jump up from the bottom. Thankfully, these hacking missions are actually different, because they do know how to do that sometimes, evidently. And now, your ricochet shots actually kinda make a bit of a difference, I guess. Still not more difficult necessarily, but at least now you have an actual possibility of taking some damage, which, you know, I shouldn't, say that because I actually did take damage in the previous one, but that was just kind of carelessness and going a bit too far ahead. There we go, that's the first guy. We need to, as you can probably tell, release 2 locks and ow. And then we can get rid of the firewall and get done with our shit. So basically the deal here is just whack the big guys and then whack the small guys when you need to. It's pretty simple stuff. Again, I don't necessarily think that this ricochet shot thing does the hacking any favors. I like that they tried. I by all means appreciate the attempted variation. And it is by all means varied. It does make the experience very different, but I don't know that it helps, you know? Surprisingly, Bentley doesn't even have any comments about that. He usually says like, okay, that's good job, me. Let's go to the next one. That's not even remotely close to what Bentley would say. I don't know. Regardless, though, I probably shouldn't have jumped down. Lastly, we have this room with some firewalls. Yes, this is very, very challenging level design right here. I don't know what they were thinking with the beginning here. Like, how could you... I don't know. Let's just not question it. Now, things are going to get a little bit interesting. Now you have the ricochet shots and actually tough enemies. Not just the normal guys, not just the guys standing still. Things are actually ramping up a bit here. And I like this quite a bit. It's an actual challenge, and I always appreciate that. Because, otherwise the hacking is usually not a challenge in the slightest. Like, I wouldn't call this hard either, but This is by all means a bigger challenge than what we've faced before, although, to be honest, it would have probably, you know, it would have been more challenging if we didn't have the ricochet shots. I still don't entirely understand why that was introduced. Like, there's also no, like, narrative reason. Wait, why am I doing this? I'm supposed to just get to the end. I don't even need to worry about the enemies.
Make way for the Murray!
Hey, pal. Looks like you'll need to lift all those giant cylinders. Once they're locked in the up position, you'll be able to take them out from the top level.
I'm sorry, Bentley, but it just doesn't sound as cool when you say it.
Heads up, pal. You've got company.
Yes, thank you, Sly. We need to push up these batteries, and for each one there's gonna come out a new enemy. If you're lucky, you can get a bunch of batteries before any other guys bother you. There is always going to be... this is not gonna go well. Okay. There is always going to be one enemy per battery. And... wow, the, freaking... what's it called? Hang on. Raging Infernal Flop? Wow, that's really not as good as I thought it would be. I hope I didn't give that a high recommendation. I honestly don't entirely remember what I said about it, but at this point I would not say that that's a very useful thing to have. Like, it does damage to several enemies, but it doesn't really do damage that's worth the damn, evidently. I think I might have said that it knocks enemies down, and I could swear that it did, but apparently no. That's weird. Regardless though, I guess it doesn't matter, because for Murray, it doesn't really matter what to do, because you can just do this! I don't know why I haven't even been doing that up to this point. There we go. There's one very random detail that has nothing at all to do with what we're doing, but have you noticed how Murray's shoes are the wrong color? In all artwork of Murray, he has white shoes, but his model distinctly has brown, and I don't understand why. Is that the last one? No, there's one more. Oh, I can make this, come on. Yes!
Nice work. Head up to the second level and thunder flop on the giant cylinders. That should finish them off.
You know, speaking of the Raging Infernal Flop, I didn't give it a lot of credit because, as I demonstrated, it wasn't very useful, but I guess we can give it the screen time it deserves here. Haha! Because the Raging Infernal Flop is indeed a thunder flop of some sort. Just because there's fire involved doesn't mean there can't also be thunder. Except I'm out of PP or whatever you want to call it. I don't know why I called it PP, I've never done that up to this point, but sure. It also... wait, what does P even stand for? I'm not entirely sure. Well, P stands for power, but... or points, I guess. Maybe it stands for power points. Hahaha, that's weird, in which case.
Perfect. Now, head into the control booth and pull the plug on this thing.
I would say literally, but I guess that's not a plug, it's just kind of a lever.
Another engine bites the dust.
And an unexpected windfall, I've been contacted by Inspector Fox over the shortwave radio. She's well aware of the dire situation we all face if Klakla becomes immortal, and has agreed to join forces with us so that we can destroy the robotic bird. The only catch is that she's unable to locate this blimp on her radar. To help her hone in on our position, we'll need to boost the strength of 4 local radio towers. Once Inspector Fox is in range, she'll take one of us on board to act as a tail gunner in a dogfight against Klakla. This is it. We don't have time for another plan. We're almost over Paris, and if that hate hypnosis light show goes off, well, you know the story.